the Gauteng Transport MEC Kedibone Diale-Tlabe is expected to engage with scholar transportation operators at the University of Johannesburg Soweto campus following tensions over impounded vehicles and compliance with transport regulations. So that meeting was moved to a bigger venue after last week's session was postponed due to overcrowding. So some operators say they will boycott the engagement after their protest to have vehicles released had failed. The MEC insists unroadworthy vehicles will not be allowed back on the road as the department pushes for safer scholar transportation. Following the crash that killed 14 school children, SABC News reporter Calvin Dludla is at the University of Johannesburg Soweto campus for us. Calvin, good morning to you. Thanks indeed for your time. From the sense that you're gauging there, the last time this event with the MEC was cancelled due to overcrowding, but then we also heard that some of these scholar transportation operators plan to boycott today's engagement because of some of the scholar transportation vehicles that are still impounded. Give us a sense of what you're seeing there and whether we're expecting today's engagement to be much better than the last one.
Good morning to you, Criselda, and to our SABC viewers at home. Yesterday, I got a call from one of these operators telling me that, no, Calvin, we are not going to attend because it does not seem that the MEC responsible for road and transport, Kedibone Diale-Tlabe, is willing to assist. And today, when I came here, I saw the spokesperson, Lesibamja, engaging in a call, getting information that this scholar transport operators will not be able to attend. Actually, they are boycotting this engagement. But we are told by Lesiba that even if they are boycotting, but the MEC Kedibone Diale-Tlabe will be here. But let me introduce Lesiba just so that maybe he can be able to elaborate more on the boycott. Lesiba, thank you very much for your time. You are here. You came in early. Yesterday when you were engaging with the scholar transport operators in Johannesburg, some of them did mention that no, they are not satisfied with the response that the MEC was giving. Remember, MEC saying to them, no, come tomorrow at the University of Johannesburg so that maybe I can respond. But some of them, most of them actually are not here. How did you know that they are not coming, and how are you receiving this news?
Well, we don't know whether they are coming or not, only that we've seen a letter that is addressed to their members by the Gauteng Education Transport Services, instructing their members not to come. I think the letter is very explicit to say their members must not attend. And I think this is just a demonstration by the MEC on the urgency of the issues raised on the memorandum by the operators. Remember, there is a situation where operators are raising concerns with government and request for assistance. And this is just but one of the MEC's or the MEC's demonstration that given 14 days where we must respond, day one of that 14 days becomes absolutely pertinent given the veracity and the urgency of their issues. So we're here to actually give them an audience. We see that a lot of them have not come. We find it as very distasteful. We don't know what should happen in terms of the issues that they want responded to. This is a platform given by government that they must come, ventilate their issues, express them. Where we're able to find each other in terms of regulations, it's a conversation we're prepared to have. And yeah, we're quite disappointed that this is how they are treating their own issues, which they deem to be very urgent, and they decide not to honor an invitation by the MEC while responding to the matters raised on the memorandum.
Just to refresh our viewers' mind, what are those issues that they have raised in that particular memorandum?
Look, I must also say that this is a continuation of last week's meeting. Remember, last week we had a small venue, so logistically we had to request for a postponement. So as far back as last week, we've been ready as a department to listen. And I think yesterday, when they gave us the memorandum, it actually then built up their case. And part of the issues that they are raising is issues of operating licenses. They are requesting that government speed up on the issue of operating licenses. We have got a response there. They are raising issues of requirements that are on that some they deem as unreasonable. They are also raising issues on the impoundment of vehicles that are unroadworthy. So those are part of the issues that they are raising, over and above a situation whereby they are making a case to government that they are calling for a seamless working relationship. And this is not how we start when we want to advance and forge a working relationship. We are encouraging them to come to the meeting. They are still in the province. We are saying that as government we are here. So we hope they will reconsider their decision of not honoring this particular meeting, because this meeting is absolutely important in terms of responding to what they've been raising.
Some of them are complaining about permits. They are saying that they have tried to apply for those permits, but it seems as if there's still a backlog, a huge backlog from your side. How are you treating that?
No, there's no backlog. The industry, at least in the data that we have, has got about 13,500, between 13,500 to 15,000 members. Okay, in our system we've got applications. We've got 1,500 applications, 1,583 to be precise. Of those applications, we have issued 516. So 516 operators out there have got valid operating licenses. We've got 1,009 that is within the system at different stages of adjudication. And some of the information is that they need to be able to be updated. Some of the reason of that particular 1,009 is the fact that from their side they need to update, give us some of the requirements, be it contracts with the parents, be it endorsement letters from the school. But we are saying that there is no backlog. If you put against the population of the industry, you can see that there's no actual backlog. As a matter of fact, just last week we had operating licenses that we were ready to issue. We still have them today, and we're going to issue those operating licenses to those who are here, who are ready to receive those particular operating licenses. We are a government at work. We are not going to allow our work to be deterred by anything, and we are at the service of this industry and operators.
Lisiba, yesterday the MEC engaged with them. She's telling them to come today so that they can be able to talk and sit down here, so that they can be able to talk. They are not coming. Can you consider this as a deadlock? And also, what will happen on Monday, because they might halt operations again?
It's not a deadlock. It's bad faith. It's when we are saying let's sit around the let's do a round table. Let's have a conversation. And then the other party decides not to come. We must appreciate that society has organized itself in certain, you define it in certain associations. We appreciate that. Actually, we have encouraged a system where we register these associations. But the MEC was merely speaking against gatekeeping, because part of the applications which are supposed to be in the system of the department are stuck at associations. We can't have that. And when the MEC raises issues, it's as if she's attacking associations. No, the MEC appreciates the fact that they have organized themselves into associations, and she has even, the department has even supported GETS, and the MEC has recently acknowledged the fact that there's GGL2, and she was even working towards the process of taking them to democratic processes. So yes, we do acknowledge and recognize associations, but we must speak against wrongdoing. We must speak against gatekeeping.
What would be your contribution as the government to ensure that on Monday these children have transport to go to school?
These are very important partners. We look forward to continue working with them. And there's no alternative plan that government has to disenfranchise this industry. We want to work with them. The only thing that we are not going to do is to work with vehicles that are unroadworthy. So they are a very important partner. We are calling for a situation that does not repeat itself. Friday was very unfair. A parent had to miss work because they now had to babysit a child that they've paid, before, or that they've long paid for in terms of transport costs. It's just unfair to the kid. Our children now have a record of missing one day of school, and it is because this industry had to elevate their rights. We accept that they must be able to protest. However, we can't have a situation where the future of this country is compromised on the basis of issues that we are raising with government.
My last shot would be on the circulating video on social media of an e-hailing driver that was strangled inside the car.
Look, we want to appreciate the speedy response, particularly of members of the public, because we're informed that there was a citizen's arrest initiated by the e-hailing sector itself. We want to welcome that one of the perpetrators was arrested. We're calling for the police to actually leave no stone unturned in finding the other person. And we want to actually say to the industry and to the family condolences, heartfelt condolences, and may the soul of the departed rest in eternal peace. It's the issue of safety that the industry has been calling for. And we have been saying that in terms of the new regulations, that part of what must happen as a safety measure is that you've got to have those dash cams. That dash cam has assisted law enforcement, and it has also assisted the public in actually elevating that issue. We know now that there's a person who was mugged, who was robbed and ultimately killed. And we know now who the perpetrators were, and one of them is arrested. We're calling for police to actually be hot on the heels of the other one who's remaining, and those person must be arrested, prosecuted and sentenced.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Let me release you. That was Lesiba Mja. He speaks from Kedibone, Diale-Tlabela, the MEC responsible for roads and transport here in Gauteng, showing his dissatisfaction after a no-show by scholar transport operators. As I have mentioned, Griselda, earlier in my introduction, that yesterday night I received a call from one of the operators telling me that, Calvin, no, tomorrow we are not going to meet the MEC because we don't think that the MEC is taking our issue seriously, and that is true because there is no single scholar transport operator here. Only the members of the public are here, and I'm told by Lesiba Mja that the MEC Kedibone Diale-Tlabela is on her way to respond to the grievances. The question would be, how will the MEC be able to respond to these chairs, because those operators did not come. So it's an issue, a long-standing issue, especially when it comes to permits. You would remember that there have been protests last year. I think it was 4 or 5 protests where the scholar transport operators would stage a protest complaining about certain issues, especially when it comes to permits. But Lesiba Mja is saying that there is no backlog. It's just that some of the operators are not coming forward so that they can get assistance from government. They are not here. Most of them are not here, and you could see that these chairs, most of them are empty, Griselda. But for us, it's a matter of time so that we can be able to see and watch the MEC just responding to these people who are here. It's sad because, as Lesiba said, on Friday, parents had to try by all means to find alternative transport for their children. As Lesiba indicated, some of them had to bank work, some of them had to be absent from work so that they can be able to assist these children. Lastly, Griselda, when we engaged with some of them, they told us that, no, Calvin, on Monday we will resume operations, but that will depend on the negotiations between us and the MEC. And as I have mentioned, they are not here. So that might tell you that even on Monday, children might be able to experience the same issue.
Calvin, so if there's going to be a resumption of these scholar transportation duties on Monday, how's that going to happen when there is no discussion that is taking place this weekend? I mean, our camera colleague who is working with you there today, apologies I did not get a name, showed us some of the chairs. Majority of those chairs are empty. In fact, Bulelani Scott, I understand, is the video journalist you're working with. I'm very interested to hear who exactly is in attendance there, because those are not scholar transportation operators. Just go towards them. Let's find out why they are there. Are they even disappointed that their fellow industry mates are not at that meeting today trying to find a solution? Who exactly is occupying those chairs? Go there for me, Calvin. I'll wait for you.
Okay, yes, we will have to go to engage with some of them so that maybe we can be able to hear their side. Sanbonan, Ninjan Mam. Siyanibona nikhona lana uMEC izolo ukhulume nabantu bamateksi lawa thutha ingane. Abantu bamateksi bebethe ngeke baze la ngoba uMEC lento abayikhulume nayo izolo engathi abazwananga. Kungathini ukuphawula kweni ngoba ingane igcine engayanga esikolweni ngoLesihlanu?
Yes, abezanga ama-association awezanga ngendaba yokuthi abaphendulekanga. So thina esikhona la sikhona ngoba usifonele ukuthi sizolanda ama-permit today. Asilindelanga mhlawumbe impendulo yakhe just ukuzothatha ama-permit kuphela.
Okay, umama naye uku-transport industry?
Yes.
Uthutha abantwana?
Yes.
Okay, ubukhona izolo njengoba kunomhlangano?
Yes.
Okay, so njengoba bengekho bengaphendulekanga mama njengoba usho ubona ukuthi ke le ndaba izoxazululeka kanjani ke manje?
No, angazi next. Mina ngizela nje just ngokuzothatha i-permit phela nje.
Okay, those are some of the attendees here explaining to SABC that Calvin, I'm not here for those issues. I'm just here to collect my permit. But it would be difficult for the MEC responsible for roads and transport to engage because the operators decided not to come. The question that you asked me about the discussions going forward and resolutions being found, I don't know, Griselda, because we were told that some of them would come so that they can sit in these chairs and the MEC addressing them so that they can find workable solutions. But that is not the case here, Griselda. They are not here. We will also try to engage with them telephonically so that maybe they can map for a way forward and explain to us exactly what is going to happen, especially on Monday morning.
Calvin, thank you very much indeed. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure you'll give us an update on that once the Transport MEC here in Gauteng arrives at the University of Johannesburg in Soweto, where she's meant to meet these scholar transport operators. They've decided to boycott today's meeting. They've not pitched. A number of, in fact, majority of those chairs on the side and behind you are very empty. Let's see what she will then do on her arrival there. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any resolution to this current impasse at the moment. Thank you very much indeed, Calvin Dludla, SABC News reporter.